Hi everyone, and welcome to StudioJake Media. I, of course, am your host, Jacob Airy. Thank you so much for joining me. Very excited to be back after my vacation. Had a great time with my family in Texas. So, I'm diving right in. Be sure to like this video, share it out, click that subscribe button, and leave me a comment. Now, typically, I mainly talk about pop culture. I used to talk about politics a lot more early on in this channel, but I kind of got burned out of politics. It seems like nothing good ever comes of it. It's a constant drama machine, which is good for certain channels, but not for here at StudioJake Media. I would prefer to talk to you about the things I like, pop culture, as you can tell from my backdrop. And part of pop culture, though, is the media. And anyone who follows me for 5 seconds know how I feel about the corporate press. I think they are repugnant. I think they've become unethical. I have a suspicion that they were always unethical. And I really champion smaller independent media. And one of those places was Project Veritas. I found Project Veritas to constantly expose power brokers for their horrendous actions. They exposed how CNN actually didn't care about Russia. They exposed teachers abusing students in school districts as young as elementary school and as old as college students. They have really been at the forefront, and it's all because of their founder, James O'Keefe, who formed the company in 2011. Now, they are a nonprofit company. I think there's actually two different companies that operate under the Veritas umbrella. Now, James O'Keefe, back in late January, early February, he spearheaded this huge exposure of Pfizer where he caught on tape using a sting operation this employee talking about how the pharmaceutical company had lied about and other things regarding the unspecified virus of unknown origin, as the Critical Drinker says. And shortly after that victory, huge win for Project Veritas. They received tons more subscribers, tons more views. James O'Keefe himself was celebrated in how he brought this to light. And then he just disappeared. He released a statement February 4th about how he had been informed about certain things regarding that investigation. And then dead quiet. And no one really knew what was going on. Even Project Veritas released a video that, discussed that sting operation, but it didn't feature O'Keefe. And that made a lot of people curious. Come to find out, what had happened was one of the board members, who was the COO, and of course he has his pronouns in his bio on his LinkedIn page, he had staged a coup against O'Keefe. And they have over 65 employees, and he had turned about 12 of them and then a couple of the other high-level executives against him. And they staged what people were kind of mockingly calling a struggle session, where they all aired their grievance at James O'Keefe for something like 4 hours, where he was not able to ask questions or to interrupt. He wasn't allowed to contact anyone. And the only reason we know this is because a Twitter user by the name of Twig got all of this out. Now, head over and check out what Twig has done. He's done multiple threads regarding what's going on at Project Veritas. Also, Jeremy from The Quartering, he has covered this extensively. And so a lot of what I'm getting about this came from those two sources. So definitely head over to Jeremy from The Quartering, subscribe to his YouTube channel, and also check out Twig. So basically, as a result of this, he kind of went into hiding, and people were suspicious that he had been fired. Now, Project Veritas made several statements saying, no, he's not. He's just on vacation. We don't know where these rumors got started. And again, he was just dead quiet. Even some of his closest allies and friends couldn't get a hold of him. There was even a conspiracy theory that he had been, shall we say, Epsteined, but that turned out not to be true, because on February 20th, we got word from him. So he was ousted as CEO, but they did not fire him, apparently. However, he had chosen to resign. And it was this big, huge deal. He released a video of himself on his social media, and people have been taking clips of it and had been what's the word I'm looking for? And had been spreading those around. There it is. So, and it appears that he is no longer part of Project Veritas. So this is according to the Media Research Council. Now, what we know for sure what's happening concerning undercover journalism outlet Project Veritas and its patriarch James O'Keefe. The question now becomes, how long will the company last without the only notable name on it? A video surfaced of O'Keefe explaining from his perspective what happened between himself, a disgruntled employee that O'Keefe had fired, and the possibly ungrateful board of an organization that without O'Keefe would not exist. All facts. O'Keefe mentioned how the situation arose from a disagreement on how to solicit donations for the organization. He even quoted the character of Howard Rourke from Ayn Rand's The Fountainhead. Fantastic book. Everyone should read it. So, he made a few comments to employees. You could see some of the employees in the video, although their faces were blurred out. He gave kind of a timeline of things that had happened. And then he said, he concluded by saying, and this is again from MRC TV, so with that, I'm going to collect my things, I'm going to load them into my car, and I hope to see some of you soon. And basically he hinted that he was going to start another project, although probably not Veritas. And Project Veritas board is being hit with all kinds of negativity, from me included. There is no Project Veritas without James O'Keefe. He is Project Veritas. He was, in the beginning, he was the one going undercover. When his face became more recognizable, he had to recruit reporters to do that. And honestly, this is just an incredible scumbag move. And it also teaches people who want to get into this business, it's a bad idea to have board members. It's a very bad idea to do that. You can't trust anyone. That is the impression that this gives. And I wouldn't trust anyone now. How do I know that someone might turn on me? Now, like I said, Project Veritas is two different not-for-profit companies. And a very close friend of mine, Yvonne, who is she's a social media expert. She's an excellent PR social person. She has produced advertising for people, and she's a friend of this channel. She has been on a couple of my live streams and a couple of my videos. She says, I hope James O'Keefe creates a for-profit undercover journalism operation. He's a creative genius and needs complete and total authority over his own brand. 100% correct. Could not have said it better myself. And conservative media itself is at a crucial juncture. I'll talk about this more in a separate video, but this just goes to show you how there are forces that whenever a firebrand wants to do something, how they're hit with all kinds of negativity, especially when they enter some sort of corporate space. And I think that when it comes to things like what is happening with James O'Keefe, those of us who are independent, we need to look over every detail with a fine-tooth comb before we sign anything, before we agree to anything, before we meet with someone, because there is someone always, in the shadows who does not have your best interests in mind and who wants just to use you as a cash cow. And when that money train gets interrupted or stalled or it hits the brakes or crashes, they're not going to care about you. And you know what? If it was their brand, so be it. But this was James O'Keefe's own company. He did not deserve what happened to him. And I think that we're going to see a shift in how media, particularly conservative media, is going to make decisions and how they're going to present their content. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up, that you'll leave me a comment, tell me what you think, that you'll share it out with your friends, and of course, consider subscribing to StudioJake. I cover all kinds of nerd and pop culture topics, including film, television, anime, comic books, and so much more. I hope that you'll also head over to my main website, StudioJakeMedia.com, where I have even more news, views, and commentary. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, head over to my locals page. That's studiojakemedia.locals.com. It's the best way to support me. I'm trying to build a little community there. I have exclusive reviews and articles, so definitely head over there and check it out. And I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake.